Oh my god, yaar.
लाग्यो
A catastrophic large-scale flash flood struck the border region between Nepal and the Tibet Autonomous Region of China. This tragic event was triggered by the collapse of a massive glacial ice mass in the Himalayas, unleashing a wave of destruction unprecedented in the region's modern history. The disaster began when a colossal mass of glacial ice, rock, and ancient debris collapsed from extreme heights. The immense speed of the collapse created a domino effect, sweeping up millions of tons of material in its path. This devastating avalanche surged violently toward the valley, transforming once calm river flows into deadly torrents.
ये ढुंगे के अवस्था है ढुंगे बाजार नुवाकोट
ल हेर्नु है ल हेर्नु साथी सबैजना हेर्नु यो 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 अहिले विद्युतको तलै सिमजोर हो यो पुरै सोलरमाथि नहरमाथि पानी छिरिसक्यो यतिसम्म भइसक्यो है.
Two major river corridors, the Trishuli and Botekoshi valleys, served as the primary channels for the floodwaters and debris. A mixture of water, thick mud, boulders, and ice chunks surged nearly 100 kilometers downstream. The sheer speed and volume of the flow meant the disaster struck without adequate warning for residents living along the riverbanks.
पुल सुल सबै गयो
अरे पुल चले गए यार ये.
Within less than an hour of the disaster's onset that morning, the vital route connecting Nepal and China was shattered. Bridges serving as lifelines for trans-Himalayan trade were completely swept away, alongside border checkpoints, customs facilities, and the Rasua dry port complex. This high-speed, destructive surge devastated traditional villages such as Saibrubesi and Timure, burying homes and commercial centers under meters of glacial mud deposits. Hydrological data recorded by monitoring stations revealed a level of severity never before seen in the region. At the Galchi and Maleku monitoring stations along the Trishuli River, water levels surged dramatically, rising 7 to 9 meters in just 30 minutes. This extreme, sudden rise eliminated any window for self-evacuation, trapping hundreds of local residents inside their homes as they prepared for their morning routines, leaving them no chance to reach higher ground. As of late August 2026, disaster management authorities from both nations continue to update casualty figures, which are climbing rapidly. According to the latest official reports, the confirmed death toll has surpassed 580.
अब कृषि विकास बैंकको एटिएम यो अब बैंक जाने बाटो गेट रहेछ यहाँ र बैंक जाने
The death toll is expected to rise further given the passage of time and the vastness of the affected area. Search operations for victims buried under meters of mud pose an immense challenge for rescue teams. The humanitarian crisis has been compounded by a drastic spike in the number of missing persons. Recent reports indicate that the whereabouts of approximately 1,900 people remain unknown. Survivors in the Rasua and Nuwaka districts described moments of mass panic as the river, usually clear, suddenly transformed into a massive, thick torrent. Fortunate residents managed to scramble up steep hillsides amidst heavy monsoon rains, witnessing firsthand how their homes, vehicles, and livestock were swept away and swallowed by swirling waters in a matter of seconds.
खोलो कत्रो आयो हेर्नु ल देवीघाट ओहो यहाँ त हामी सुरक्षित छैन खोलो त कत्रो कत्रो
The impact of the disaster quickly crippled Nepal's national connectivity. The Prithvi Highway, a vital logistics artery linking the capital, Kathmandu, to the country's western and southern regions, suffered severe damage from dozens of secondary landslides and the collapse of road sections along the riverbanks.
This is Nepal's largest solar power plant, 25 megawatt switch yard, 66 kV extension bay is complete.
लोग देख सकते हैं यहाँ जिस हम होटल में काम करते थे वो पानी इधर तक आ गया देख सकते हैं आप
The impact of this disaster has affected not only local residents, but also the international community. More than 30 countries have reported that their citizens are among the missing. Hundreds of foreign tourists from countries including India, the United States, Malaysia, Ukraine, Australia, and the UK were stranded on hiking trails. Some were undertaking spiritual journeys to sacred sites scattered across the mountainous region. The International Red Cross, together with local humanitarian agencies, estimates that at least 93,000 people have been directly affected by the disaster. Many villages along the riverbanks were wiped off the map in a matter of minutes. Survivors have been forced to flee to higher ground, often with little more than the clothes on their backs.
यहाँको घर यहाँ
यो 4 कोठाको घर यो घर बिचमा थियो यो घर छैन यो खाली जग्गामा लिएर
यहाँको झोलुङ्गे पुलको हालत हेर्नु न
Eyewitnesses described the arrival of the torrent as resembling a land-based tsunami. A thunderous roar, akin to a series of explosions, was heard from the direction of the mountain peaks moments before the water struck. The sheer speed of the rushing water left residents with no time to pack their valuables.
यो मेरो जीवनमा पहिलोचोटि देखेँ यो साथ यस्तो उम्ले यो के हुनु हो
The government of Nepal immediately declared a state of emergency to facilitate rescue operations in the affected regions. Helicopters were deployed to scour isolated areas and evacuate victims. However, the thick fog and inclement weather characteristic of the Himalayas frequently forced the suspension of these aerial operations.
You cannot imagine, yeah?
Across the border, the Chinese government also deployed thousands of troops and heavy machinery to the Tibet region. Cross-border coordination between Kathmandu and Beijing remained ongoing to expedite evacuation efforts. A primary focus of this joint response was addressing the landslide debris blocking river flows along the border.
ठाउँमा आइपुगेका छौं अहिले यहाँको अवस्था यस्तो छ यही मान्छे मरिरहेछ है हैन अब रेस्क्युटरहरु आइराछन् आउन
यो चाहिँ के हो
Nepal's national energy sector also suffered a severe blow that threatened the stability of the country's electricity supply. More than 10 hydroelectric power plants operating along the Trishuli and Bote-Koshi river basins sustained moderate to severe structural damage. This damage wiped out nearly 30% of the total national power supply capacity, triggering rolling blackouts in major cities, including Kathmandu.
त्यो पुल त बगाउँछ होला यार कसरी भ्याच्चके भए भाइ
This deadly event was not an isolated disaster devoid of precedent. Nepal has consistently been battered by annual monsoon floods and massive landslides, such as the catastrophic floods of September 2024, which paralyzed the Kathmandu Valley and claimed hundreds of lives, and the wave of glacial floods in mid-2025.
प्रेसरले ढुङ्गाहरू खरानी भएका छन् ठुलठुला ढुङ्गाहरू
पाल्नै भ्याउँदैन रहेछ नि त यस्तो आउँदो रहेछ कि मैले सोचेको यस्तो त
Geologists and climate scientists cite this event as a stark reminder of the tangible impacts of global warming. Rising global temperatures are causing the Himalayas' perennial glaciers to melt at an alarming rate. This structural instability in the ice is believed to be the primary cause of the massive glacial collapse.
यहाँ
यहाँ चाहिँ पहिला पुरै घर थियो अरे है यो घरहरू सबै भत्किएको अरे उहाँहरूको
The threat to Nepal's northern border region has not fully subsided, even though the main floodwaters have receded. Satellite imagery reveals the formation of several new lakes created by landslide debris blocking ancient river channels. These naturally formed lakes hold millions of cubic meters of water that could burst through at any moment. Local authorities continue to urge residents within the danger zone to not return to their homes for the time being. Should the debris dam collapse, a subsequent flash flood of equal magnitude could once again strike the settlements below. Emergency early warning systems have now been temporarily installed at several strategic locations.